We are also in Thailand, we are in the Philippines, but Vietnam is our strongest country so far.
What are you doing when you want to relax?
Yeah, so I have to disappoint you a little bit because I'm not really stressed because I love what I'm doing. And I'm not the person who thinks about in work-life balance. I find so many sources of happiness and fun and joy. I love my family, I love my 4 kids, I like to walk, I like to entertain people, I love to cook.
Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to our very first AHK video podcast. We call it AHK Talks, and the subtitle is The People Side of Business. And I'm really honored that today our very first guest is Mr. Peter Goldschmidt. Peter is the CEO of the well-known German pharmaceutical company STADA. He's the CEO since 1st of September 2018, right?
Yeah, correct.
And so it's a great pleasure for us that you are here in Vietnam and we have this opportunity to talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much, and thanks for the invitation. It's really a pleasure for me too, and yeah, looking forward to our little chat.
So I learned, of course, a bit. I read about STADA, what the company is about. And the first thing, of course, what I recognize is so you have some core values. And the core values are integrity, entrepreneurship, agility, and one STADA. So can you describe a bit more? So what does it mean, and why is it so important to you?
So in STADA, we have a core principle, and that's very important for our whole leadership, and this is culture drives performance. And what is culture? Culture is, in the end, your beliefs and your values. And for us, it was very important when I joined that we put together really what are we standing for in terms of how we work together. And the values are, in the end, the glue of our culture. So the values you are mentioning are really what I think makes the success of STADA in the last couple of years. We have seen so many entrepreneurial ideas. Of course, we're operating worldwide. We have to do it with highest integrity. Mm-hmm. We need to have agility, considering what has all happened, COVID, geopolitical crisis, and so on. And in the end, we want to be one team. So one STADA, the fourth value, is in the end what brings all together.
Okay. And when you started your assignment and you came up with these core values and you implemented that in STADA, so what is the feedback of your people? Maybe not just in Germany, maybe also worldwide?
That's a very important question, and actually, I always want to know this. So every 6 months, we do an employee survey, global employee survey, and we ask the people, what do you think about our purpose? Are you behind our purpose? How is it working with the values? Do we live the values? What can we improve? So we want to know really what everybody knows. But the values are also something which really came also from the employees. So it's not something which I made up in the room by myself, but it's really a general way of how the people want to work together. And you have to communicate it all the time. It's not about brochures and posters. It's how you really live it, how you walk the talk, and how you lead by example through these values. So the values are always there, and I always talk to them.
Okay, that's very good. Coming to Vietnam, so I know that we just celebrated office opening, a grand opening of your new footprint here in Ho Chi Minh City. You have an impressive production facility in the Phu Yen province in central Vietnam, in the capital Tuy Hoa. So what is the situation right now, and maybe what is your vision also for Vietnam? I heard that Vietnam is one of the most important countries in Asia for STADA. And so what is the role of the country, and maybe what also will be the further development?
Yeah, we have been investing as a company for more than 20 years now in Vietnam. So we have heritage, we have experience, and we are sizable also in Vietnam. We are one of the leading pharmaceutical companies. And we have invested in a local company, meaning we have also really the understanding how it works, how society is developing. So that's one side. The other side is if we look at all prognosis and we look into Vietnam as a country, we believe in the future growth and the future power of Vietnam. It's a sizable country with over 100 million inhabitants. I think there will be a lot of investment. This year is a little bit tougher, but this has not changed our mid to long-term outlook of Vietnam. So we want to invest in that core market, and actually, as you rightly said, maybe from Vietnam further support and develop other countries. We are also in Thailand, we are in the Philippines, but Vietnam is our strongest country so far.
Okay, great. And so working in my position in a foreign country, so you have to deal with a lot of companies from a lot of industries.
Yeah.
But when we come to pharmacy and also medical devices, medical care, the first thing what we have to learn is, so there is a big split between the R&D driven companies and the generic pharmaceutical companies. So can you explain us a bit more, so how this goes together, and where STADA is located in this discussion, and what STADA stands for?
Yeah, STADA originally founded by German pharmacists, is based on its origin a generic company. So meaning selling product at cheaper prices but with high quality of products which are off patent. So that was for long years really the focus of STADA. Today we are a very broad healthcare company. So most of our sales today are generated from consumer healthcare, meaning over-the-counter products, so products without prescription, food supplements like vitamins, minerals, and so on. But we have also now started, and that's more than 20% of our sales now, specialty products. So people with rare diseases, biosimilars, and so on. So for STADA is really to play on these three pillars. In most countries, for example, in Germany, our country of origin, 90% of all prescriptions every day are generics, so 9 out of 10. So that means, in the end, generics are always the pillar of key healthcare systems. And in the end, based on that they're way cheaper, also help to finance the innovative products. And actually, most of our people who are working in leadership, but also broader in our company, have experience in all sectors, being innovative, generics, consumer healthcare, because in the end, we are serving patients, and we need to find the best way to approach them.
When I look to the products of STADA here in Vietnam, I learned maybe STADA is a bit different. So my impression, all the big pharmaceutical companies, so they put a lot of effort, a lot of energy to keep their international brands and also place their international brands, well known in Europe, in Germany, in France, but also to use the same brand here in Vietnam. But I think in your case it's a bit different, right?
Yeah, it's very different. And we have a different philosophy than a lot of other global pharmaceutical companies. So we think that the pharmaceutical business, the healthcare business, is a local business. And we want to build on local heritage brands, be it companies we bought over the years, or be it local brands. We also have a few international brands. But for us, it's not important to serve or build global brands. For us, it's important to really caring for people's health as a trusted partner in any given country. And that includes also having local brands and heritage brands and being very local. Okay,
that means you have also different brands, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, it's different?
Even STADA is called different in a lot of different companies. So in the UK it's Thornton & Ross, in Vietnam it's STADA and Pimofako, in Belgium it's EG, and I could continue the list because that's the brand people know, these are brands people trust, so we keep it. So we have a relatively low corporate ego, but for us it's important to have the right local brands.
Let me come to the people side of business. So yeah. I want to ask you about yourself actually. I mentioned already, so since 2018 you are the the head of the STADA family, and I learned that also before you traveled a lot and you worked also for other pharmaceutical companies. So you are from East Westphalia, if I'm not wrong, and
That's correct.
and you studied in Münster, and you hold a degree in politics and economic geography.
Yeah.
And so how this happened since you became a CEO of a pharmaceutical company? So I think it's an amazing journey, right?
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. It's really great. So my origin actually is correct, is from East Westphalia. And the whole thing started with one easy thing. My father owned a couple of grocery stores from Edeka.
Okay.
And so I grew up with a business family and with entrepreneurship.
But actually, this is the point. So coming from East Westphalia, of course, you are very known for companies like AHK, like Schüco, and so on, but not for a pharmaceutical company. Okay.
Yeah, and I always liked to be in an industry where you really have a purpose and can do something good, right? And if you look at the development even of mankind with the start of antibiotics and other pharmaceuticals, really life has changed on this planet. Even today, without antibiotics, I think the world would look very, very different. So I think it's an industry where you really have a very strong purpose based on the products we are producing. And I always liked this sector, and I've always worked my whole life in that sector. Plus, I also like to develop people and bring people together. So my major is actually in sociology, and that's all about how group works together and people work together. That's why I'm starting with the conversation, or at the beginning of the conversation we had, culture drives performance. Okay. And that's how I look at the business. Numbers matter, so you have money to invest in the future, but culture is the core.
But when you were a student, was it always your dream to become a top manager or even working for a pharmaceutical company?
Yeah, it was potentially a dream I never have said, but this feeling of, and even if my father had only 5 Edeka grocery stores, but that it is your own, and in the end you are responsible if this business is successful, you're responsible if you can develop it, you are responsible if your employees are happy or not. This feeling that was always there. How it exactly looked like and what kind of job, of course not. But to own something and be responsible for something, I always loved.
Okay, great. And of course, so STADA today is a company with a turnover of 4 billion euro, I think, very soon. So we are in charge for more than 13,000 people. I think that's amazing. I can imagine it's also a bit stressful. What are you doing when you want to relax? So what gives you maybe the balance side of your life?
Yeah, so I have to disappoint you a little bit because I'm not really stressed. And the reason why I'm not really stressed is because I love what I'm doing. And I'm not the person who thinks about in work-life balance. I find so many sources of happiness and fun and joy, like this event today, together with AHK. And opening up new offices, meeting so many great people in different cultures. So it gives me so much energy that also the things which are maybe a little bit stressful, which are tough, you can balance. And look, I love my family, I love my 4 kids, I like to walk, I like to entertain people, I love to cook. There's so many things.
That's the point. So this is also what I heard, that you really love to cook, right?
Yeah,
and being in Asia, a country like Vietnam, so did you get already some inspirations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm buying cookbooks. That's my passion. So I bought a lot of cookbooks actually in the last couple of years on street food in Vietnam. But maybe you know also I lived in Philippines, I worked in Indonesia, I worked in Singapore. So Asian food is really awesome. I really love it. And Vietnamese food is for sure amongst the top.
Okay, for example?
Well, no, I really like pho, obviously, right? Yeah. But I also love the spring rolls. I like the herbs, so it's great.
Good. Thank you very much. I think this was really interesting. Thank you very much that we also could have this chat and that you have been our very first guest for the new video series AHK Talks. We wish you all the best, of course, for STADA in general, but also for you personally. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure, and it's really an honor to be your first guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.